I gave her a part of me to save her life, and she gave her heart to someone else. Subscribe to Lies Unveiled, where real stories reveal the truth behind perfect relationships. Imagine sacrificing a part of your body to save the one you love, only to discover a betrayal that cuts even deeper. This is the story of Alex, a devoted husband who donated his kidney to his wife Emily, believing their love was unbreakable. But just when he thought their bond had strengthened, a confession shattered his world. Stay with us as we delve into this heart-wrenching tale of love, sacrifice, and betrayal. Alex and Emily had been married for 6 years, sharing a life filled with love, laughter, and the joys of raising their 2 young children, a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Their bond was the kind that many envied, built on mutual respect and shared dreams. However, their world took a devastating turn when Emily was diagnosed with a severe kidney condition shortly after their son's birth. The news was a crushing blow, casting a shadow over their once bright future. Determined to do everything possible to save his wife, Alex immediately began exploring options for a kidney transplant. They reached out to Emily's family members, hoping for a compatible donor, but none were a match or medically eligible. Undeterred, Alex decided to get tested himself, fully aware that the chances of a spousal match were slim. To everyone's surprise, Alex was a match. The doctors explained that while it's rare for spouses to be compatible donors, it wasn't impossible. Alex didn't hesitate. He was ready to undergo the surgery to save Emily's life. The day of the surgery arrived, filled with anxiety and hope. The procedure was successful, and both Alex and Emily began their recovery. Alex endured the physical pain with the comfort of knowing he had given his wife a second chance at life. Their family and friends lauded his selflessness, and the couple looked forward to a future renewed by this profound act of love. In the weeks following the surgery, Alex took on additional responsibilities at home, managing household chores and caring for the children, all while recovering from the operation himself. Emily's health improved steadily, and the family began to settle into a new routine. Despite the challenges, Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment, believing that their love had triumphed over adversity. However, Alex began to notice subtle changes in Emily's behavior. She seemed distant at times, lost in thought, and occasionally withdrawn. At first, he attributed it to the emotional toll of the surgery and the adjustments that come with recovery. He remained patient, offering her space and understanding, hoping that time would restore their previous closeness. As weeks passed, the emotional distance persisted. Alex found himself questioning whether there was more to Emily's demeanor than just post-surgical stress. He recalled moments when she avoided eye contact or seemed hesitant during conversations. Despite these concerns, he chose to trust her, believing that their shared experience would ultimately bring them closer. A month had passed since the surgery. Alex and Emily were gradually settling into their new routine, with Emily's health showing significant improvement. However, beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. One evening, as the children were asleep and the house was quiet, Emily approached Alex with a somber expression. She asked if they could talk, her voice trembling. They sat down in the living room, and after a moment of silence, Emily began to speak. "Alex," she started, tears welling up in her eyes. "There's something I need to tell you." Alex's heart raced, sensing the gravity of the moment. Emily took a deep breath and continued. "A few years ago, I made a terrible mistake. I had a one-night stand. It meant nothing, and I've regretted it every day since." She paused, searching Alex's face for a reaction. "I know this sounds awful, but I felt like our marriage had become so routine. You were always kind and dependable, but I felt invisible. You weren't romantic anymore. And then there was my colleague. He was younger, charming, and he noticed me, complimented me, asked about my day. We worked late on projects, he brought me coffee, sent me messages that made me feel seen. I let my guard down. One night, after a company party, I didn't stop him. I couldn't. I let it happen. I betrayed you." She covered her face, sobbing. "But it was just that one time, Alex. I swear. I was stupid, and I've hated myself for it every day since, especially after the surgery, after what you gave me. I couldn't carry the lie anymore." Alex sat in stunned silence, the weight of her words sinking in. His thoughts raced in chaos. And then the unspoken fear broke through his lips. "Is our son mine?" Emily froze, then gasped. "Yes, of course he is. I swear to you, I've never doubted that. It only happened that once I crossed the line. Please, don't even think that." But Alex couldn't stop thinking it. That question rooted itself deep in his mind, haunting him in moments of quiet. He would stare at his son and wonder, just wonder. And even though Emily had sworn, even though logic told him otherwise, the shadow of doubt clung to him. He never went for a DNA test. But the damage was done. The uncertainty became another ghost between them. Alex said nothing more that night. But his silence echoed louder than any scream. That night, Alex lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to Emily sob quietly beside him. He didn't reach out. He couldn't. Inside him, something had shattered. Something he couldn't name. In the days that followed, Emily tried everything, cooking his favorite meals, leaving handwritten notes, even suggesting spontaneous date nights. But every attempt at closeness was met with Alex's distant gaze. Every time she touched him, he recoiled inside. Every time she smiled, he questioned its sincerity. He couldn't unsee the betrayal, couldn't undo the questions it planted in his heart. His mind replayed it on loop, her in someone else's arms, in someone else's life. And no matter how hard she tried to bridge the gap, it remained. He began to question the authenticity of their shared moments, wondering which were genuine and which were tainted by deceit. The physical scar from his surgery served as a constant reminder of his sacrifice, a sacrifice that now felt tainted. Emily, on her part, was consumed by guilt. She attempted to bridge the chasm that had formed between them, offering apologies and seeking forgiveness. She suggested couples therapy, hoping to mend the fractured trust. But Alex was not ready. The wound was too fresh, the betrayal too raw. He would wake up at night, staring at the ceiling, haunted not just by what she had done, but by what she might have felt. Did she enjoy it? Did she ever compare them? The doubts spread like poison, eroding what little peace he had left. And worst of all was the image of his son, the innocent child he adored, now a question mark in his soul. Even though he never asked for a DNA test, the mere presence of that thought became a wound that wouldn't close. Their home, once filled with laughter and warmth, became a space of tension and silence. Conversations were minimal, often limited to discussions about their children. The joy of shared meals, evening chats, and weekend outings dissipated, replaced by a palpable discomfort. Friends and family began to notice the change. Some reached out, offering support, while others speculated about the cause of the rift. Alex, valuing his privacy, refrained from sharing the details, choosing instead to internalize his pain. The children, sensing the shift in their parents' dynamics, became quieter, more reserved. Alex worried about the impact this environment would have on them. He grappled with the dilemma of staying in a strained relationship for the sake of the children or seeking separation to find personal peace. After weeks of contemplation, Alex decided to take a temporary break. He moved in with a close friend, hoping that distance would provide clarity. During this period, he sought individual therapy, aiming to process his emotions and gain perspective. In those sleepless nights, Alex began turning to alcohol. Not in excess at first, just a glass or two to numb the racing thoughts. But soon, it became a habit. One glass turned into two into four. The warmth in his chest was the only thing that dulled the ache. Yet every time he drank, he didn't forget. He remembered more. The alcohol only sharpened the images in his mind. Emily's confession, her trembling voice, the doubt in his heart. He drank to escape, but ended up drowning in it. Eventually, he realized the spiral he was falling into. The mornings grew heavier, the nights lonelier. He was shutting out the world, including his children. He hated who he was becoming. That's when he packed a bag and left. Not out of anger, but desperation. He told Emily he was staying with his friend, and this time, he truly meant it. It wasn't about punishment. It was about survival. There, away from the shell of their home, Alex began therapy. Again. This time, more committed. It was a long process, talking about trust, identity, betrayal, and what it meant to rebuild. He started journaling nightly, pouring out the grief he could no longer carry in silence. He cried. He screamed. And slowly, piece by piece, he began to stitch his spirit back together. He didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in months, he began confronting the pain instead of running from it. With time and distance, Alex found clarity. The wounds had not disappeared, but he had learned how to live with them. He realized that healing was not about erasing the past, but about making peace with it. He chose to separate from Emily, not with hatred, but with acceptance They would co-parent their children with respect, but their marriage, as it once was, had ended. Alex found strength in his scars. He began to write, to speak, to help others navigate the storm of betrayal. His story resonated. He was not alone. In time, Alex found moments of peace again, on long, solitary walks, in pages of raw journal entries, in the innocent laughter of his children. Those moments didn't erase the past, but they reminded him that life still held meaning. He stopped blaming himself for her choices. He let go of the obsession with answers he might never receive. Some truths, he learned, don't come wrapped in closure. Some pain simply becomes part of the story. If you've ever felt broken by betrayal, remember this: you are not what they did to you. You are who you become after. Thank you for staying with us through this emotional journey. Alex's story is one of profound love, deep betrayal, and the arduous path to healing. This narrative isn't just about Alex and Emily. It's a mirror reflecting the complexities many face in their relationships. It challenges us to consider the depths of our commitments, the strength required to forgive, and the courage needed to rebuild. If you were in Alex's position, would you have had the strength to keep going, to forgive? Or would the betrayal have broken you completely? And what about Emily? Could she have resisted the temptation if she'd been more open about her feelings? Could one honest conversation have changed everything? If you've ever been in a similar situation, if you've faced betrayal, heartbreak, or had to choose between holding on and letting go, we invite you to share your story in the comments or send it directly to our channel. Let your experience become a source of healing for others. Your words might be the light someone else needs in their darkest moment. Please like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that touch the heart and remind us that we're never truly alone. Thank you for watching.